Journaling is a great way to hold yourself accountable, and it's fantastic for artists. But do you even know what you should journal about? Do you need to learn some new ideas for journaling? Do you need to discover new journaling techniques that will actually help you achieve your goals and dreams? Okay, I've been an artist for 25 years, more, and I will admit that the idea of journaling has always been more appealing in theory than in actuality, until I discovered bullet journaling. So if you're still skeptical, I'm going to talk about why bullet journaling is indeed so much better. And if you already journal, I'll talk to you about why you might want to look at what a bullet journal has to offer, and even give you some examples of how I use it for myself. All after this. Before we get started here, I just got this and wanted to add it in last minute. It's the Tracking Journal by Friedemann Finderson. And I'm not getting sponsored or anything for this. I just happened to order this from him because he does a great holistic songwriting vlog for those of you who are interested in songwriting. But he has also published books, and this book is definitely not just aimed at songwriters. In fact, I think it's great for all artists, and he actually wrote this for everybody. But if you're not getting stuff done, and you want to, and the idea of what I'm about to talk about of a bullet journal seems too daunting, he's got a great simple system set up in this book to track, to get stuff done, to things in the morning. It's also combined with a book where he really talks to you about what he wants to get done. So if you're an artist looking at a simple way to journal with results and not a lot of writing, but really looking at getting your work done, I urge you to check out the Tracking Journal from Friedemann Finderson. Anyway, so let's get on with what I'm going to talk to you about in bullet journaling. So this is a fairly long video. So if you already are in love with journaling and just want to find out the basics of bullet journaling, go to this time. Yeah, you can start there. If you are already into bullet journaling and are here because you are looking for a special, different creative take on scheduling in a bullet journal, then go to this time. All right, thanks a bunch. All right, I am so glad you came to watch Creativity Control. I'm your guide, Michael Gilboe, and on this program, I talk about practice, purpose, productivity, and promotion. All those things you just did not get enough of in school. So this episode, under kind of our productivity session, and actually this is kind of a concept too, we're going to talk journaling, because you should be doing it. And as I said before the break, I did not like it. I would drop the habit. I never knew what to write, and it just felt like kind of a feelings dump. And for some of you, that's fine. For me, a feelings dump didn't really work. And then I stumbled across Bullet Journal. And as a quick setup, it's like kind of all things in one. It's your to-do list, it's your calendar, it's your daily activities journal, it's your emotional journal, it's everything and whatever you need it to be. So there are 5 main reasons why I really think artists should be journaling. Are you journaling already? If so, or if not, tell us why down in the comments below, what you get out of it, and we'll see if I offer some other things that you might want to get out of your journaling habit. For me, the number one reason to journal is you make yourself accountable. As artists, we have a tendency to extremes. We have too much we want to do and we don't get it done and we feel like a failure because we think of the stuff we didn't get done, not the stuff we did. Or we don't give ourselves enough to do. And either way, we're not taking advantage of what we can do as much. By putting down your goals, your tasks, what you're wanting to accomplish for a week, for a month, for a day, you can go back and reflect and then start to go, why didn't I get that done? If you tend to beat yourself up for not getting stuff done, you can go, well, look at what I did get done. And look for ways to finesse. Number 2, you can discover trends. I like habit tracking in a journal and setting it up. How much I slept, how much I ate, how did I work out, did I walk, how many steps did I walk, and all these various things. And I can use them to look back and look ahead at what might be coming. For instance, I generally need a full night's of sleep. And I know if I'm going to go more than a few days in a row with under 6 hours of sleep, a hard crash like 12 hours is coming and needed. The bullet journal has helped me kind of spot when those are coming. Number 3, a brain dump. If you're at all like me, there's several nights where you just lie awake and can't get to sleep because you've got a great idea rolling around in your head, or a list, or things you can't forget to do tomorrow. I make a point of journaling for like 5-10 minutes right before I go to bed. And that way, all those ideas that might keep me up are down on paper. And it is amazing how much that has relaxed my mind just to know that I won't forget them. Number 4, clarify your goals. It's one thing to figure out what you're getting done. Then you can start looking at the bigger picture of why you want to get them done and determining, is this really how you want to spend your time? Are these the right tasks? Number 5, kind of tied in with recognizing your goals, but a little bit broader. Recognize what is important to you in life. What are you writing about all the time? Are you writing constantly that you hate your job, hate your boss? Maybe you should change that. Are you finding out that you are more relaxed after you take a walk every day, and that is important for you to get a walk in? Whatever that might be for you, you can start to look and find out what is important. Not only that, the bullet journaling system has a migration thing. Every time you change notebooks or change weeks, you got to rewrite things down. And by choosing to not write down something as you carry over, you are making a conscious decision that this is not that important to my life. So the key is kind of the symbology. So again, I'm going to do this kind of quick because you can literally find this at about 10,000 places online. But the basic thing is a dot instead of a checkbox. Why instead of a checkbox? Because, we all like doing this thing where we check off and it's done. That isn't very flexible though. The dot allows for several things. So if I've got 3 tasks here, and then the dot can become what I want to do with them. So let's say that this task I've assigned to somebody else. They have a symbology where you do that to indicate that you've assigned it to somebody else. If you haven't gotten it done and you need to move to the next week, you do an arrow indicating that you've moved that forward. If you've decided a task isn't important yet and you want to move it to the future view, you do an arrow back in the book. And then when you've completed a task, you can exit. And if you have decided that the task is no longer important at all, you cross it out. So that's the symbology of to-dos. Okay. So I also, by the way, really like, it's a Frixion multi-ink pen. So the ink is erasable, you might have noticed. I like using different colors, and there's 4. So yeah, I get different colors, and that's pretty cool for me too. Because I hate pencils, but I'm a poor handwriter, and I needed ink that erases. Okay, another couple symbols in here is you've got a 0, and that means an appointment or an event or something to do. And then you've got a dash, which this is a note. This would be your, dear diary, things you're feeling, things you've observed. And those are the basics. Above all, a journal is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's for present you. It's for future you who wants to learn things. It doesn't have to be pretty. And if you search bullet journaling, because I'm only going to give you the basics, because there's thousands of videos on how to bullet journal out there to give you ideas. But you will stumble across a lot of people who spend a lot of time making their bullet journals really, really pretty. And don't let it make you feel bad. My bullet journals are not pretty. They're for me. They're for what I need to learn. If you want to doodle and take all the time in the world to make them gorgeous and that makes you feel better, fantastic. But don't not do it because you think it'll take too much time to make it pretty. It's for you. Now let's look at my journal. So here I'm mainly going to focus on the areas of my bullet journal that are kind of uniquely mine that I've found. This might be of the most interest to people who are bullet journal aficionados and are looking for something new with their layouts, because these are definitely kind of different. I have a goals section in my stacks. For those who don't know, stacks is what you put in kind of up front in every bullet journal. And my first spread with goals is my 3 main goals, just in an overview. So I kind of set 3 goals Each journal generally dealing with self-care, with my music writing and production, and then my entrepreneurial work, such as this with creativity control. I have my overall vision statement, which is how I want these goals to relate to each other. So, generally my goal to kind of tie these things together is to work on teaching and doing workshops in various locations, and then also combining that with doing like a music performance at a small venue in the evening, where I'm kind of traveling for two purposes. And kind of integrating those. And I like using my music in the production work I do for the videos. So I try to tie my life together. I also in here have my kind of morning routines and evening routines. Definitely something I suggest. It's something I really just started this year, but it has really helped my focus to kind of get that consistency going. Then I kind of break this down a little bit further, and it's an ongoing thing. I just started this journal the very beginning of September, so I'm starting to fill it in, and it's there for me to fill out. And so I have kind of various pages. I have a page for creativity control, I have a full page for my music on Professor Copperhead, and then I have my self-care goals. And I'll just they're the same each time, just different things. But what I have is my statement on what I want to do for this trimester. These tend to last me like 4 months actually. And then I have kind of my overall goals for each of the next kind of journal sections, so trimesters, September through December, January through April, May through August. And then 1 month outlines of what I think I can get done each month towards making these all happen. I have this side for tasks that I come across over the schedule that I need to do to meet these, and specific habits besides those morning and evening habits, things I want to do daily, things I want to do weekly in order to meet that goal. And I try to pick one measurable goal that I can track, which is I am aiming to write the rough draft of my book this semester. So I have that I'm outlining here, but then I want to write 7,500 words a week. And so I'll actually track how much I write on that. So I find that a nice way of keeping track of my goals. Here, I actually started off with a 3-week social media rotation. I will go into further. This wasn't quite enough, so I did something else. But I do like that I have kind of ongoing tasks, especially for those days where you don't know what's going on. I can just kind of do a quick reference and go, oh, I can do something from here and be productive. And what I've starred here are kind of good low energy tasks, because we all have those days where we don't feel like really wanting to do anything or laying on the couch. And so I've kind of started things where I can be productive and I can do something that moves me towards my goals when I'm just not in the mood. That's not to say I like working all the time. I do try to keep that in check. And you know what? I like relaxing at times just as much as the next person. But this is when I know I need to get work done. It's my scheduled hours to work, and I'm just not feeling in the mood. Here is where I track the music projects I'm releasing. This is something new that I'm trying. I think it's going to work, but it's all the various pieces that go with that I got to put them together to mix up and go with the thing. I actually just finished off a couple things here. Kind of tied in with that thing. This is my production log. I've kind of simplified it now that I've gotten my schedule back into place. And so this tells me where I'm at with each mix that I'm ready in production, because I still need to know where I'm at so I don't spend that time wondering. So I focus on, again, the right things that matter. Here I do my monthly tracking and habit tracking and like weight and steps. That's nothing new. That's like a lot of people's journals. This is kind of business geeky, but I did it last month for the first time and I really liked it. It kind of helped me focus in on things. And it's my OKR page for the month. So this is now in my month section. I have a 6-page spread for the month. I have the calendar layout. I have my OKR, which is what I want to accomplish. I fill it out at the end with what I actually did accomplish. And then I also have my spending and things I enjoyed. That's kind of my 6-page monthly spread. I get it down to 5 objectives that I really want to get done for that month. And then KR is key results. So if I want to write my book by the end of the month, I need my lead magnet, which is also serving, that's a sales term. It's something I'll be giving out to you guys. And it's also dealing with what I want to cover in the book. And then I'm going to use 35 minutes in the morning and all this stuff. I'm going to lose weight. Hopefully, this one, it tends to be the first one that goes for me. I want to figure out my advertising. And so, for instance, a key result, for on websites, a key result is the actual ending. I need to get my bio and discography up for Copperhead. I need to get my bio and links up for the Creativity Control Workshop and my consultant page. And I want to be constant with and consistent with my self-care. Despite what they say, I wrestle with these things. I'm not perfect, but those things help. Then I get to my weekly spread. With the weekly spread, I just kind of I decided a bulletin board where I can just put random things I discovered in the week. I might print out a photo or something or put them in there, or quotes I find or podcasts I found. Memory Palace, I highly recommend. They were featured on another big podcast I listened to, just discovered it, and it's a wonderful short listen. Then at the beginning of each week, I say that I'm looking forward to what I want to get done. I was trying to get the Post Malone Circles cover up and advertised by Friday last week. I did do that. Then looking back at the end of the week, I monitor. Again, the big part of bullet journaling is reflection and looking at what you've done. This is for you, and you can spot patterns when you start looking at things. Personally, I like to put in a learned about. If I haven't said it here, I should. I love constantly learning about things. I don't think I would be happy in my life if I didn't keep learning new things. So I like to write in here things I can specifically think of that I learned and remind myself. And then for OKR, I kind of write down for each of my main things what I did this week. For instance, a dash. I was busy with Post Malone song. I didn't get a start on the book yet. But I did keep my diet 5 out of 7 days. I gave that as a 0 as I kind of neutraled out on it. But I did meet my movement goal. Plus, I did finish and advertise Circles. I gave it a plus. I didn't get any website work done yesterday, so a negative. A 0, I can finish a wash. I kept my routines, my morning and evening routines, 5 of the days, missed them 2. I have a hard time on the weekends when my wife is home with me. I tend to skip those, and I notice it. Then, this is kind of one of my most unique things I've come up with. Maybe somebody else has come up with something like it. But so many of my tasks, and I think as Creative Works, you might be really interested in this because we can shift and we can do the work we get done anytime, and we have a lot of things to get done. And sometimes we're in the mood to sit down and write. Sometimes we're in the mood to be hands-on, and that doesn't work. So I went through a lot of different things, and I've now been doing this for a month, and I think I've really settled on something that works because I was constantly erasing, and I love these pens. So these friction pens are actually 4 inks, and they are erasable because I'm a horrible writer and speller in my journal and need to erase. But what I kind of came up with doing is I've got 6 work blocks during the day, and these are 75 minutes or 2 35-minute blocks, which I kind of picked up from learning about time blocking, which I may recommend. And time blocking really helped me out and really helped me organize and force myself to take breaks, which I don't often do, and I bet a lot of you creatives don't either. And that lack of breaks, I find when I don't take a break, I'm so much worse the next day. And I actually get so much less done on the day I'm supposed to work than if I time myself and force myself to take at least a quick walk break between things. But what this does is I kind of have this categorized that I got these Post-it notes, the nice small ones that more or less fit in the box. And yellow is stuff I need to do for my video work. Pink, red is stuff I need to work on musically. And then blue is kind of general paperwork, promotion work, organizational work. But what I like about this is if I miss it or if I'm not feeling in the mood, today I need to do a first mix for I Feel No Pain. And I think I'm going to get it done. But if I don't, I can look for a free spot and move it over there and shift something else in. And then what I do is, like I said on this Monday, is I write in the stuff I actually got done on the day so that I can look back and know it's there. So I find this a good way to be impermanent and shuffle around to accomplish what I do, but also to have things placed in where I think they should go, and in some cases need to go. The classes I teach are movable, so they're in there. There's some things that aren't. And so if anybody likes, I work 6 days a week, basically. I try to take Sunday off. And because it's, a lot of my work is artistic, some of this isn't really work. It's a lot of fun. But I suspect some of you creatives might be interested in this, because I know you likely wrestle like I did with the idea of your task list, your to-do list, your calendar was volatile, constantly changed, and sometimes it got hard to keep track of what you still need to get done. I do it a couple weeks in advance, so I don't get this done in this week. I can just automatically migrate to my next week. So far, this has been doing a really good job helping me keep on point with what I'm looking for. I did in the week thing too. I do like naming a weekly theme. This week, I need to catch up since I got a little behind cramming on kind of doing a last-minute cover of the brand new Post Malone song, which has been working pretty good, and it was a lot of fun. If you aren't doing a lot of promotion or doing a regular schedule of output, you maybe can skip this next part, but if you do promotion, social media, try to put out content regularly, this might interest you. I've kind of, after a bit of work, realized, and again, this is brand new, I've been trying different things, but I feel pretty good about this. We'll see. I'll let you know. But I've now set up kind of everything on a 4-week release cycle. I do one main new song for copyright every 4 weeks. I will follow that up with a different cover or a remix, at least for a few weeks while I'm building an audience, and release a video each week there. And so what I've kind of worked out is then all the other support material I need to do. And right now on the bottom line is red. This is what I'm posting on Instagram. The blue is what I'm going to post on Facebook. And I'm still looking for another Facebook thing to do sometime here in the week. But trying to do something that, and this gives me a chance of what I need to plan. And they have the same thing for creativity control. I want to put out an article that I find, because I find lots of great stuff researching for this, and I want to actually post those and share those with you on Facebook. So like our Facebook page. And again, this is kind of like in the middle, the IG diary. Rather than having a constant littering of what I've put up on Instagram, I can just put up, these are the pictures I put up. My release comes on Tuesday, and I'm going to do a quote card, a minute V-long follow-up. So these are kind of the schedule where it does. And my goal is once a month there to kind of get this 4-week thing, is to do something extra special written content for you guys. I'm currently in week 2. This is going to start next cycle, the extra content. And then this is the release schedule. So this is when I need to finish things. So then I took the production schedule based on that 4-week rotation of when things need to get finished and when I'm working on stuff in order to make those 4-week goals. So in order to submit in time, I want to have this original mix for the song that is going to be released at the beginning of the next month, finished mixing a month in advance. I want to get it submitted to DiscMaker, or to actually DistroKid is who I use, so that I have a chance to maybe get it featured. I need to finish the cover mix, submit the cover mix. Then I'm going to be batching the vlogs and spending 2 weeks doing 2 vlogs each, and then the next 2 weeks focusing on filming the music videos, which will need to then go up here. And there are probably a few other dates I'm going to roll in. I'm starting this out, but this seems to be the easiest calendar, so that when I get, because I try to do all my social media in a batch at the beginning or end of the week, trying to get it to the end of the week. I keep delaying it to the beginning, but that way I can just kind of schedule things, lay things all out. It's all done. I can prep and know exactly what I need to do, and get it put up. I know the schedule I need to make. I am lucky enough to have Johnny Lupian, who is assisting me, wonderful engineer, learning a lot about video editing now too. Moved into town, and it's like kind of one of those things of being a good, way I said earlier, jack of all trades. Johnny's learning the skills of that, especially in a small town where that serves out. But kind of my learning a lot of things and teaching has paid off in the long run. For those looking for an assistant, they are hard to find. Johnny is outstanding. It's the first guy I've had who's really self-motivated, who I feel I can rely on. And it's a true, win-win scenario. I like to talk about, we're not being, by having an assistant here helping me out, he gets access to the studio when I'm not in. I spend time teaching him things that's going on, and I think we're both getting a lot out of this, but he definitely helps me get a little bit more done, have a little bit more ambitious schedule than I might otherwise. Yeah, so that's the stuff that's really unique about mine. I actually just finally figured out a way to get all of my work and personal combined in the same book where it made sense. For a little while I was splitting them up, and that got a little chaotic with the number of notebooks I was having to carry. But I felt I actually, some say you need to take the steps to get where you're going. I needed to have that separate book for a couple months for my creative work and entrepreneurial work, to really suss out where things overlapped and how I could make this work in a single book. So I hope that was of interest for those of you. I definitely know I've watched a lot of bullet journal videos as I learned. And if you're learning, and if you want to learn more, there are tons out there that you can look for ideas. But most of what I've shown you, I haven't seen on other people's things. And also I've shown you a lot of kind of not pretty work. So if you look at other people's stuff and see these beautifully designed things and feel like I can't do that, yeah, that's not what this is about. All right. So again, before I show you some specific examples, I want to reiterate, bullet journal, I'm not selling you anything. You can use any notebook. The big benefits of bullet journaling is it's free, it's flexible, you can set it up to be whatever and everything you need it to be. It is creative on its own. You can let your creativity lead your productivity, or your productivity lead your creativity, and find that you can do more than one thing. It's guilt-free. I don't know, if you've ever tried one of those pre-formatted journals, and I've tried a couple, I would miss a day, I would miss 2 days, I would miss a week, and then I'd feel so guilty that I'm wasting this notebook that has everything pre-laid out for me. This is not laid out. You can lay it down and pick it up whenever you need to. All right, so let's look at some of the specific ways that I use the bullet journal to help me stay on track, and maybe that can inspire some in you. And if you're liking the idea, search the term bullet journal spreads, and you'll find tons and tons of ways that can spark how you want to make the bullet journal work for you. Ryder Carroll actually invented the bullet journal. It has an inventor, and he's written a book on it. You don't need it. There's thousands of videos. But if you want to, and you like books, you can get his Ryder Carroll's book. But he says, each bullet journal becomes another volume in the story of your life. Does it represent the life you want to live? If not, then leverage the lessons you've learned to change it. And that is summed up why I think bullet journaling is so important. It gives you the actual information you need to build the life you want. Okay, so your assignment for today, no, it's not to jump into journaling yet. It's just write down 5 things that you have asked about yourself in the past. What do you like to know? Have you ever gone, for instance, part of why I keep an expense log is not just to try to keep control of my spending, but also because I find myself constantly going, what did things cost 10 years ago? What did they cost 15 years ago? I find it interesting, and it's not something that's really easy to find. So what are 5 things that you find yourself asking questions about past you? All right, so I hope you're enjoying this. Make sure you subscribe. We do 2 videos a week, and you don't want to miss any of them on your journey to being more productive and more creative. Tell a friend, because you can hold them accountable, they can hold you accountable, and you can go forward faster. So until the next episode, I'm Michael Gilboe. Stay creative.